Hi and welcome everyone. My name is Nomzamo from Elevate Finance Partners. I am so excited to be sitting in front of you today. I know this is a pre-recorded session, but it's still exciting for me to put it out there. Elevate Finance Partners is about empowering women, empowering everyone actually, walk their financial journeys with the grace of God and to embrace whatever purpose that is in their lives, be it in freelancing, be it in business, in the career space, whatever it is. So I'm sharing my experiences as a seasoned banker, hoping that it'll impact your life as much as it's impacted and changed my life. So today, for the very first time, we're featuring profiles on the blog. And the first feature that we've got is of this very incredible woman, mother, wife, scientist. Yeah. But the most important one is that she's a daughter of the Most High, and she absolutely, absolutely loves the Lord. Above all else, read her story. You will see what I'm telling you. Thembi, you're so welcome. We're so happy to have you. And thank you so much for availing yourself and for sharing, what the Lord has given you and placed in your life.
Thank you so much, Sister Nomzamo. I am so excited to be here. Thank you so much for this platform. Being a seasoned banker, we really need you. And thank you so much for having me. I am super, super excited.
Just to recap, how are you feeling right now, having gone through that exercise of reflecting and writing down your story? You don't really get time to reflect, not much. But tell us, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I think I am so grateful to have gone through that process because, like you're saying, we don't get time to reflect. It's almost as if we're just running and running and running and running and running. It was really nice to just reflect. Sometimes we undermine our stories and where we come from. Yet when you look back and you actually take the time to sit down and just trace where you're coming from, it actually helps you to realize certain things. And it actually also helps you to push even more because you just tap into that young self, that person that you used to, and it almost gives you a wake-up call that person is relying on you for whatever it is that God has stored on the inside of you. So you have to keep pushing. So it has helped me in terms of that, to look back and reflect and also just get that encouragement to push forward. So I'm truly, truly appreciative for the opportunity to actually go through that process.
Please tell us a brief about your journey, Sis Thembi. I mean, we know you from Umlazi and now you're in Joburg, but who is Thembi?
So Thembi is a mother of three. I've got three beautiful kids. I'm married to Umlazi Swana. I am a water resources scientist who's professionally registered. I run a company called Mika Consulting, which deals with services for environmental and hydrological consulting. I was born at Umlazi, like you've said. There was not a lot happening in terms of career-wise and growth and development. And I think being there, the one time when I saw one of the ladies who was graduating in my township, which was one of two, actually, it's a guy and a lady. She was graduating for a teaching diploma. I think when I saw her graduation photo, I was like, I want that. I remember just looking, I think I was sent to go get sugar or something. Your nana. Nana, sugar, you go to your neighbor, to ask for sugar or for whatever it was. So I was gone there being sent for something else. I remember just standing there and not knocking and looking at this photo. I'm like, I want, no idea what it was, but I said I want it. So I grew up in Umlazi. There was not a lot. There was, I think in my family, we had no graduates at that time. There was, in terms of growth, career-wise, there wasn't a lot. But we grew nonetheless. I was a very happy child. I was always very excited, always out there. I was always dancing and singing. I think, and then we moved to Johannesburg. I think the story is going to unfold before I say everything in in one go.
Looking at life from a child's perspective, like to them, everything is so possible. Everything is like you see something, you want to do it, you're there, you're doing it. Now you a mother, you've got three beautiful children, and seeing yourself through their eyes, you're still learning, you're still growing, developing, you're still getting to know this great, great God that lives inside of you. How do you do that?
That is so, so amazing. I think now that you know my story, I was this person who didn't think that people like myself, could attain big things. Even after I got my degree, by the way, it was still like, no, I've got this degree, yes, but, still, I don't see myself as this person. But when you look at, especially my daughter, because I think the home setting that she's growing up in is different from what I grew up in. And with her, nothing is impossible. Everything she wants, she does. And I've grown to a point where I don't keep her in like what you call, I'm in like a
In a
bubble.
box.
I allow her to explore. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't keep her in a box. So if she says she wants karate, there was a time where she wanted to do karate, and all the girls in her class were doing ballet. So cute. Like, let's go get like, those Woolworths ballet sets and
Yeah.
whatnot.
Yeah.
She's very feisty. She was like, nope, she's doing karate. And I even went to a teacher. I'm like, is she okay when the other girls are going to, I'm that mom. Like, I will go to the teacher. I will ask every detail about my children.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that learning from her. And by the way, she did change from karate. She was like, okay, I'm over karate. There's no music. It's not fun. It's instructions, instructions. So she was like, no, I'm over it. I want to go join ballet. And I was like, okay, that's fine. In fact, right now, she came before I came into this meeting. She was like, Mommy, I want to start piano lessons. I'm like, yeah, sure. Even if the budget is not there, I'm always like, you know what? Let's do it. God will provide. So I think I've learned to look, like you're saying, to look at life in their eyes. They have endless possibilities, tapping into also you as a child, how I saw a graduation photo. I had no idea where you get this place. It was just a regalia. A person in a regalia. I've seen it anywhere else. I did not know what it was for. I just had no idea where you get it from. But I was just like, I want it and I'm going to get it. And you know what, guys? I think more than anything, sometimes we undermine indaba of saying things with our mouth. The Bible talks of ukuthi ulimi yonke into esiyishoyo will actually happen. So even I think uNkulunkulu was really listening and he literally took down his pen and he could imagine that's what he did. Because I was wanting something good for myself, which is what he wants for me. So it's been amazing. I'm not going to lie. It's so hectic trying to balance everything all at once. But I think, like you're saying, being a mom also helps you to really tap into your inner child and tap into, I can actually do anything. That's how I used to think. When I was dancing there, I thought I was the best dancer. I was not shy. I was, so yeah, I think it has helped. With that. I don't know if I answered your question.
We'll take it as it comes. To see, there's no blueprint here, right or wrong. It's just you, Nje. You transitioned from an employee to launching your own, not one, but numerous businesses. You've done a whole transitioning to find the space where you're at right now. What was the scariest part about that? Because I think many a times, people will be in two minds about making decisions. There's an element of fear, there's an element of but how did you get there?
So, me transitioning, first of all, from being an employee, so I was employed in an engineering company here in Pretoria. And then I think 2 or 3 years later, my husband and I were getting married. I was like, I'm leaving. I remember going to HR and I told him, I'm like, okay, so I would like to resign. I'm going to write my resignation letter. And he asked me, obviously, why. So I told him, my marriage is important to me. I know this job. It was my first job, by the way, after university. I'm like, I appreciate everything that you guys have taught me. I know it's how important it is.
Yeah.
And to get money, stability, but my marriage was more important than any other thing at that time. So I told him I wanted to move back because I'm not going to correspond marriage. I'm not going to be in Pretoria. My husband is in Durban. So fast forward, I was unemployed and then I was married. I was happy. I was happy about my decision, actually, but I did try to look for employment closer to where my husband was, which is in Durban. And I struggled. I went for interviews, and then we had a baby. So now I was a stay-at-home mom, unemployed, had no idea what was happening with my life. Like, I was deep down in motherhood.
Yeah.
So I kind of lost myself a little bit there. I think maybe I should share that because, when we are first-time moms, and I always tell first-time moms that don't lose yourself in that whole process. Try not to lose yourself. We love our children, but we have a career. We have things that God has purposed for our lives, things that God has called us for. I always tell my other that you don't want motherhood to be a burden, because now you're on pilot mode basically, and you've held everything aside on standstill and you just focused on this. So there was a time where I went through that. I don't like using the word being depressed. I never said it with my mouth, but I could tell that I was not mentally, I was going through a lot. But from there, because I could see there was no employment. So my husband and I sat down, we're like, okay, we need to do something.
Yeah.
So I opened a company. I registered a company in 2019, just before COVID. Company, like I shared. So at first it was called Cafe Mika. It was selling food. We had gotten an opportunity to open a canteen in one of the industry firms in Pinetown, of which they let us down. I'm just going to try and summarize this story, but I think ibalulekile for anyone who's listening, we literally were turned at the gate. So when the delivery guy was there with all of the equipment, I'm talking gas stoves, fridges, literally everything that you need for a canteen, turned us back. Apparently the guys within the office, I don't know what was happening. They were like, no, they're not giving us the space anymore. And we had to think of a plan B, of which then we had to do deliveries. So we went into my husband's aunt's kitchen in Berea. That's where we were cooking, because now we have 2 people employed. We have everything. We've even sent out all the flyers with all of our menus. People are now calling for deliveries, for us to deliver them. Found myself, we did deliveries. So we deliver like 4 samosas from Berea to Pinetown, which is so far.
Not worth it. Not worth it at all.
Yeah. And then we ended up going the route of making food for university students. So I found myself KZN, but in the medical school. So now we were doing deliveries for those students. And even besides that, we were going door to door at salons in Bria Center. I felt like, I remember just telling my husband, because I had met, actually, here's the funny story. I had met my primary school friend at the airport whilst I was still working in Pretoria. So she works in the airport. I was there running meetings and, I was late for my flight. And then the next thing, she's at the salon where I'm selling the food. And we've got buckets. Siphethe amabhakede, guys. Sidayisa ukudla, sidayisa what do you call this? Dragon. Energy drinks. I'm like, yo, this is like the lowest, And my husband was like, yes.
So we're laughing about it now, but it's actually something that we've gone through. And
yeah, I felt like I was at the lowest because here I am, I wanted this nice regalia, graduation regalia, and I did get it. I had an honors degree that time. I had an honors degree, and my husband is a chemical engineer, and he was helping me out in the company. We were there going door to door, and we usually call the salon ladies Ma'e. And Ma'e, La Payana would say, come back at 1 at 12. And then we go at 1, and then they're like, we've already ate, So it was just like, what life is this? Little did I know that God was preparing me for something. I'm so sorry, my daughter is, she's on holiday.
It will happen.
So then after that, then COVID happened. So we had to shut down because now the students are not there. We're not able to make food. She's hungry. I'm talking about food. So now we're not able to deliver this food for these university students. Everyone is not in their workplaces. There's no one. So we had to close down. Now we had to think of plan B, gifting balloons. And there was a campaign, I remember in UKZN, it was a breast cancer awareness. And we did these beautiful balloons. So one thing about me, right? If I'm asked to do something, I'm not going to say I don't know how to do it. I am going to not sleep and do a ribbon-shaped balloon, my size. I did not sleep. I made sure, and it came out so perfectly. And we got that campaign with the medical school in UKZN. And then, so we did that until we had, and then after, because it was after COVID, right? So people were sending people, it was so nice. People were sending people gifts with, so we did like balloons that are written people's names and whatever message that you wanted to put on there. It was a nice way of, even though I can't see you right now, but here's a gesture, here's something, here's a box of chocolate with this nice balloon. It's really nice being part of that. And then afterwards, we had, I think, to move to Johannesburg, still with this balloon company. Joburg is I can't deliver to Pretoria and charge you delivery fee, which is like, I don't know, 500-600 rands, but the actual balloon is like 120. So that one didn't work out. Now we are here, Mika Consulting, Water and Environmental Services, which is actually something that I studied for. I am doing finally something from selling food to doing balloon boxes and balloons and everything else. And now I'm here. So it's been a journey and a half.
I can say you're probably one of the few who are actually working in the industry of the thing that they studied for, because you find many people will study something, will not get into it, will find themselves somewhere tangent. But anyway, that just shows the faithfulness of God. I think reading through your story and just seeing the grace of God, and really those words that you spoke to yourself and seeing them come to life like this is just so beautiful. Here's another question before I give you quick fire questions. How can women, girls, everyone actually, step into their God-given purpose with confidence? What do you say to a young girl that wants to step into their God-given purpose?
I think, first of all, because I've been through this, maybe it's easier to say now, but I think it would encourage someone to see somebody who's actually been in a position, like that, to where they are today. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. It's easy for us to look at everybody else around us and I think, Sis Nomzamo is doing this amazing thing and Usis Thembi is doing this. And, Usis Bani, a person calls me the other day, just when I was typing the stuff that you sent me, I got called by a guy from Pick n Pay to send me a proposal. It's just somebody asking for a proposal, right? They haven't given me the work. The way I was so excited, I'm like, Pick n Pay knows me. Pick n Pay is calling me. So that's how exciting it is to discover certain things about yourself, certain things about what you can do, your abilities, but you need to trust God. You need to pray for guidance because, when the Bible says, when Jesus says in the book of John, that outside of me, you can do nothing. He says a branch can never bear fruit by itself. It needs to be connected, to the vine, but that potential, honestly, is just praying about it. I'm like, Lord, I know you've brought me here. Not for, this is not it. As much as I love ukulisa abantwana bami, but like there's more. And I want that more. So prayer, guidance, being guided by the Holy Spirit, praying, guys. We can't rely on our own wisdom and think we're going to figure things all by ourselves. We need to pray for guidance.